Hey PSU, thank you for joining us on Vanguard News. My name is Anthony Montes, editor at the PSU Vanguard and your host. Today's top stories: PSU's $50,000 streetcar reparations, climate activists arrested in Governor Kate Brown's office, and NASA's latest alien hunting technology. We're also going to have some updates regarding the indictments of Jeffrey Epstein's prison guards, as well as the indictment of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. First up, though, let's go local, PSU reparations. The city of Portland is paying retributions to PSU for streetcar damages. In the past year, 2 derailments occurred on Southwest Montgomery Street. The latest happened just last month, and luckily no one was injured. However, damage to PSU property did occur. So the city is going to be paying out about $50,000 for the damages to the campus's concrete and brick structures. Catherine Levine, a Portland streetcar division manager, blames last year's derailments on debris on the tracks, but says the cause of the latest derailment has yet to be determined. She also indicated steps had been taken prior to the latest derailment. However, it seems it did not work very well. Mayor Ted Wheeler also stated that the university initially asked for $60,000 in January, but compromised on the $50,000 that we're reporting here. So last week, 21 climate activists were arrested for occupying Oregon Governor Kate Brown's office in protest of the upcoming Jordan Pipeline project. The pipeline would transport liquefied natural gas from Canada and the Rockies to Coos Bay, where it will then be shipped to Asia. Opponents of the pipeline worry it would be Oregon's new biggest greenhouse gas contributor, leading to more forest fires and droughts. Protesters came to demand that Kate Brown oppose the pipeline. However, she refused, saying, quote, "Your community is extremely divided on this issue," end quote. She has maintained neutrality, claiming that she doesn't want to interfere with the powers of state agencies. Proponents of the 230-mile pipeline says that the project would bring in $110 million in annual tax revenue. In science news, NASA is sending their latest alien-seeking technology to Antarctica at the Australia's Casey station. The Buoy rover for under-ice exploration, or BRUI, is designed to search for life in waters just beneath the ice. So ice planets like Europa are NASA's prime candidates for finding alien life, and icy Antarctica is the best place on Earth to simulate those conditions. And now an update on the Jeffrey Epstein case. The correctional officers responsible for monitoring Jeffrey Epstein the night of his August 10th suicide have been indicted for allegedly ignoring Epstein and attempting to cover up their negligence. The guards, Michael Thomas and Tova Noel, left Epstein alone for 8 hours while they browsed the internet and slept. They were tasked with checking in twice an hour on Epstein, whose cell was only 5 feet away. The indictment alleges they falsified over 75 check-in reports. Additionally, Epstein was jailed on charges of sex trafficking, having sexually abused girls as young as 4 for the past 2 decades at his Manhattan and Palm Beach properties. Victims were paid hundreds to keep their silence to sustain the scheme. Jose Rojas, a Federal Bureau of Prisons union official, blames, quotes, "a shortage of staff," end quotes, and other long-standing issues in federal detention agencies. Prior to his death, Epstein had been taken off suicide watch and left alone in his cell. His guards were working mandatory overtime. Some big news out of the Middle East. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been indicted with multiple charges, including fraud, breach of trust, and accepting bribes. This comes after 3 years of investigations led by the Israeli Attorney General. Netanyahu is the 12th person to serve as Prime Minister in Israel and the first to be charged with a crime while in office. In his 10th year as a Prime Minister, Netanyahu refuses to resign and denies all charges. Charges include accepting hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of luxury goods. Most prominently, Netanyahu allegedly gave an Israeli media mogul $250 million of benefits through government regulations in exchange for favorable coverage of he and his family. Protesters both for and against Netanyahu have demonstrated in his office. Netanyahu these days is short on support. 2 of Netanyahu's aides have testified against him. His own party, the Likud party, are abandoning him in light of the indictments. And 65% of the Israeli population had previously indicated that they wanted Netanyahu to resign if he was indicted. His strongest rival in the Likud party, Gideon Starr, is already angling for the position. And at this time, they still have not created a coalition government following his victory earlier this year. If he doesn't get that coalition government, a snap election will be mandated. And in light of these indictments, it may not look good for the Netanyahu regime. And that's all we have for you this week on Vanguard News. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Spotify. Our wonderful multimedia editor, Owen, he has produced Situational Significance. Each week, we do a deep dive about any topic that we want. It's a lot really exciting. And also to follow our latest coverage of the stuff that you care about, go to psuvanguard.com. Thanks again. My name is Anthony Montes. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week.